everyone, and welcome to the RV Inspection and Care podcast and video. I'm Dwayne. I'm a certified RV inspector, and today we're going to be talking about whether or not you should buy an RV from a large national dealership chain or not. Yes, it's true that the RV industry is in consolidation phase right now. Most of the brands that you see out there, well, they're owned by just a few companies at this point. And large national dealer chains are buying up the local RV dealers at a record pace. So is this a good thing for RV buyers? Well, not necessarily. Let's talk about both the pros and the cons of national RV dealer chains. Let's start with the pros. And the first pro we'll mention is that they often have a very large inventory, which is great for newer RVers that aren't really sure what kind of RV they should have. You see, with all those RVs there, you can go through all the different sizes and floor plans and even different categories of RVs and find out what works best for you. So it's good for an education purposes. The second pro is you're also often going to find several brands at one dealership, and that can be good. But the number 3 pro is the big one, and that is by design, they are convenient. You can buy an RV there. You can finance it there. You can trade your RV in. You can also access their parts department, their service department. All of that is super convenient in one location. So those are pros. But now let's talk about the cons. The number 1 con is that these large dealership chains are not locally owned. There's no local reputation that they have to worry about and keep up in the community. You know, when you have a smaller RV dealer, the owner is part of the community in many cases. So the owner will actually see and meet their customers as they go around their daily activities. That means they need to keep their reputation up. That's not true with a large national dealer chain. They rely instead on large advertising budgets to get people in through the door. Another con is that many of the RV dealer stores have adopted selling tactics that's been used in the car industry for decades. And I think we all know how much fun it is to go buy a car from a car dealer. It's not very much fun for most people. That's because they love to use high pressure tactics. Well, many in the RV dealer community have adopted very similar tactics, especially in these dealer chains. Another con is, as a result of all of that, you are just a monthly number on the sales projection board. You see, at the beginning of the month, the dealer will make a projection of how many sales they want to make that month, and then they do everything in their power to meet that projection. Whether or not, in many cases, it's good for you as a customer. It's often called the turn and burn mentality. The next con is that means that they have a sales process that they want to use on you that gives them full control in the entire process. They're really not there to listen to you or to even educate you. They want you to fall into their process and do what they want you to do. The next con is salespeople that you are going to encounter there may not even know very much about the RVs that they're selling you. This happens very often. Sometimes they're not even RVers at all. So you may actually know more than the salesperson. What this means is you can't access them as a means of learning because many times the things they're going to tell you are just to sell you an RV. It's hard to trust a salesperson in that situation. The next con is that these kind of dealers want you to buy on emotion. They realize that emotion is very powerful, and it will get people to do something they don't always want to do if they think about it. So they want you to buy quickly, move you through the sales process, and get you out the door. The interest is not in educating you as a consumer and finding what you want and need. The next con is financing. It's often not really the best deal that you could make for an RV loan. In fact, the finance department of an RV dealership, in many cases, is the most profitable part of the whole dealer. Why? Because they're marking up the loans considerably. So financing is often not good for you as a consumer at these dealers. The next con, while you're in the finance office, they will love to sell you upgrades for your RV, but at very high profit margins. Things like extended warranties, fabric protection, exterior protection, all marked up very high and put in your loan so that you really can't tell how much it's actually costing you. Another con is that they often do very little, if any, pre-delivery inspection on both new and used RVs. And as an RV inspector, I can tell you this happens a lot. If they do a pre-delivery inspection, very often it's a cursory one, and very often it's done by someone who is not really qualified to do an RV inspection. Moving on to the next con, a lot of these dealer chain stores don't like RV inspectors. They don't want an inspection on their lot. In fact, more and more, they're often refusing them altogether. Or if they allow them, they'll make them very hard to perform. Why is that? Well, remember, we talked about how that they want to move you in and out of that dealership as fast as possible. They don't want you thinking about things. And an RV inspection slows down that process. It allows you to start thinking about whether it's really a good buy or not. So many of these large dealer chain stores don't like RV inspections. And our last con that we're going to talk about is if they do allow you to inspect the RV you're looking at, then if you take delivery of that RV before the quality issues that the inspector found are fixed, well, you may have to wait weeks or even months to get those issues fixed at these chain stores. Well, those are a lot of cons. Now, let me say this. The cons that I mentioned here are not just restricted to large national dealership chains. It can happen with smaller RV dealers as well. However, I can say that in general, they are more or less part of the fabric of these large national dealer chains, more so than local RV dealers. So here is what I recommend. If you're going to buy from a national RV dealer chain, be careful every step of the way. Watch what you're doing. Don't just let them move you through in their process. Always be careful about every step of the buying process. Number one, know what you want before you buy. Don't go to the dealer and let them educate you. They're going to direct you to where they want you to buy. Instead, be an educated RV buyer before you start the buying process. Number two, have your financing already set up, already lined up in advance. And don't discuss financing in any way or monthly payments until the price for the RV that you're buying is settled. Number three, don't buy your extras for your new RV at the dealer. Usually you can get extras and add-ons yourself and get them at a better deal and also get a better quality extra or add-on at the same time. Like, for instance, when it comes to extended warranties or service contracts, those can be very useful. Personally, I recommend go to wholesalewarranties.com. They are a broker in RV extended warranties or service contracts, and they can find the one that's going to fit best for you. I'll leave a link to them in the description of both the video and the podcast. The next point is number 4, always, and I mean always, insist on a full third-party inspection of the RV. And be sure to use a certified NRVIA RV inspector to do that. Do not allow the dealer to talk you out of it. Do not allow them to tell you, oh, our PDI takes care of all of that and doesn't cost you anything. That's not true. Always insist on that third-party inspection. If the dealer refuses, well, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I would do. I would leave, because that's telling me everything I need to know about how much that dealer values me as a customer. Now, the final point I want to share with you is never take delivery of any RV before all the issues that the RV inspector found are resolved to your satisfaction. If you take delivery beforehand, well, then you're going to be put at the back of the service line, and you're going to experience a lot of frustration and anxiety getting all those issues resolved. At least that's the way it works for a lot of RV buyers. Well, if you follow the advice that I've given you here in this video, you really can get the RV that you not only want, but the one you need. And you can make sure that it works like it should from the first day of ownership. And all of this can be accomplished even at a national RV dealership chain. Well, that's it for now. Have safe and happy travels, my friends. Until next time.